Check 1 2 1 2. All right, what's up, girls and ghouls? Let's get this finished up. My audio is working. I've confirmed that. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a new layer above. I am going to lower the opacity of this layer. I'm just going to get rid of the eyes altogether, and I'm just going to go with black so we can see it. And I'm going to use Disney ink for now. No, or Inken. Do I want to use Inken? Inken versus Disney ink. We'll go Disney ink because I said it. Okay. We're going to figure it out as we go. So we want his little nostril here. Sometimes it's nice to just kind of not worry too much about, like, to just make the art from the messy sketch. I kind of like that because it forces me to. It's almost like when you used to sketch with pen or like draw with pen on paper. Like there's no takebacks, you know. I mean, obviously there's takebacks here, but you kind of have to make the right moves. It just kind of, I don't know, there's something freeing about it. Okay, so we got his little cheek here. Oh, that's right, we changed his cheek to this round pudgy cheek. Okay. I didn't warm up at all. I just finished watching TV, and now it's just jumped right into art. So, but that's all right. You can't always. This is also my warm up. Do I want his lip like that? I don't know. That's weird. I don't like his mouth like that. That's a little bit better. So I'm just gonna make eventually I'll make a thick black line for this lower lip instead of doing like a lip that extrudes. I don't know if that's the right word. Maybe I'm just not. Let me try out some other options. What if I make this come up? No, I still don't like that. I like what I had before, but I erased it. That's okay. So we'll just make the little chin coming off here. Maybe a little less. I'm going to try to get this done fairly quickly. So this has to be a little more space for the other side of his mouth. And this might just all be too big. That might be what the issue is. Let's see, if I put a tooth here, that might look okay. Once I add the teeth and stuff, it might look okay. So that's good for now. Okay, so we'll make this nice big ridge here, and we'll do the other one the same way. Actually, I have his eyes sort of coming out, so let me do his eye first. So I'll make the line where the eye would be. Nice big curve. I'm trying to keep these shapes nice and simple. And we'll do the same thing here. It's not really how I want it. But the important thing is that these are fairly balanced as far as their size. And what I mean by that is, let me use a rectangle here. So let's see. See, they're fairly even. So if I do the rectangle right at the top of their eyes, it's fairly even. So that's what we want. I mean, I can still hear the music from next door. That's the worst part about having neighbors neighbor, I should say, that just play music 24/7, like so loud. I hate it. Okay, so we like the ears like this. Very similar to his original ears. And do we want to put this in front or behind? I guess we can. Oh yeah, I feel like it would be in front. I feel like that's better. Okay, that's not bad. Okay. So let me make the head. I'm not going to connect it because there is this space for the horn. So I'm not going to connect the head just yet. All right, this looks pretty good. And the back of the head. Okay, that looks all right. Make this line here for the other ear. And now we can just pretty much follow the sketch here. So we have a line there. His head looks good. We have his little body. I feel like I want to put some little... I don't know why I wanted to do that there. I'll just do it simple for now, and then later on I can add some little fun details like that. But I don't need to add them all now. Sorry for turning the canvas, but some lines are just easier to draw with the canvas turned a certain way. All right, so all this stuff is pretty simple. I'm just going to try to keep my lines fairly clean. Okay. That's for his little thumb. Alright, that looks pretty good. And now for his little back leg. And his little curly, do I want to do that now? I can always do that just with color, I think. That might be better to do with after he's colored. I should have probably done, now I wish I would have done a regular sketch of him. I can do that afterwards. So let's make his little tail here, and we can make all these little ridges. That looks alright. I like that. This cute little tail there. That looks pretty good. We'll give him a few little ear hairs. And just for the hell of it, we'll draw these in now. Make his little nails. And nails are important to kind of show the direction of the fingers as well. Alright. Okay, so let's color him in really quick. So now I can pretty much get rid of the sketch. I'll make a new layer underneath, and I'll use a bright color just so I can see it easily. And I'm just going to do overall base color first. So I'm not going to fill in the eyes. I'm sure I've already said this in numerous videos, but I don't like the, not clipping mask, reference layer. I don't do that to do any of my coloring. I just do it like the old-fashioned way. Coloring in the lines and or outside of the lines. So that's one eye. And right now I'm just marking off the spots that I'm not going to color in, like the eyes, the mouth. I'll make layers underneath and I'll color those in underneath. So, because I just want the skin to be its own layer. And then eventually I'll get rid of these black lines. Let's see if I can erase this little, even though there's little small details, they wind up biting you in the butt if you don't get rid of them. Like these little tiny gaps that kind of show up sometimes. Got to be careful of those. Things like this. It's easier to deal with them now than deal with them later on. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of draw around the mouth because I won't be coloring that in until later. And you know what I'll do? We'll do the head first, and then we'll also do the body. That'll kind of help too, because when I do some shadows, I like to do shadows underneath the head on the body, so that will help with that. I'm going to try to keep this straight, even though usually I'm flipping this thing all over the place when I color things. But I feel like it never looks good in the video. So I have another big project coming up that I'm going to be working on really hard the next few weeks. So it might be a little harder for me to do this fun work for myself. But hopefully I'll be able to squeeze some really short ones. I might have to do just like really short really short videos. All my videos wind up, even if I want them to be short, they all wind up being so long. God. But that's what happens. I sort of get once I get into something, it's just time just sort of flies. Okay, so the head is colored in. I guess I didn't really have to color this in, but I'll keep it colored for now. Not a big deal. I'll just make another layer underneath, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm not going to speak so I can speed this up for the video. Okay, so his base color is colored in. So I'm just going to use the same color from here, color pick, and I'll alpha lock both of these now. Fill. Fill. He's close. He's getting closer. Okay, so what do we want to do next? The mouth. Oh, I still kind of hate this mouth though. I don't know why. I really. Let's go back to the lines. Go back to black, and I'm going to go back to Disney ink. It might be better. It might have just been that ridge that looked weird to me. Fix this. All right. I think that looks a lot better. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, let me change the color of these lines. So I'm going to take this color, I want to make it darker. I'm going to alpha lock the line layer, and then I'm just going to use any brush really. You know what, I'll just color everything in for now. Fill layer. And then there's certain lines that I want to be darker. So I'm going to go ahead and make those lines darker. So I'm going to make the line here for the mouth darker. Make this brush a little smaller. I'm going to make this line darker, even though I'm probably going to go over that with a really thick, even darker line. This line can be a bit darker. I think that's pretty good so far. Now I might change it actually a bit more, but I want to make sure that you can still see the details here. Okay, so let's he looks a little bit weird now without his eyes and stuff, so let's do that. So he has a kind of a weird color eye. I might actually change that to more yellowish. But for now, we'll just use the same colors that I used before. There's 1, 2. Okay, so we have that for his mouth. Yeah, all of my characters I use slightly different colors and things now, so it's always a little hard to go back to use the original colors because, you know, your system just like sort of changes over time. Now I just have like a different system of, you know, the colors I use for different things. Like now I would say for his mouth I would probably use this color. So I'm going to go ahead and use that color. And then I'm going to make a new layer on top, and I'm going to go ahead and So we have this color, but I'm gonna make it dark, much darker. And I'm gonna use Sketchmaster, and I'm just gonna go over it and sort of darken this up. I can probably even make that a little thicker even. So yeah, sorry I'm changing the direction, but it really affects the line work. Sometimes it's easier to get certain angles. So I'm going to hold it so it makes the, oh, it didn't work. I'm going to hold it so it makes this curve nice and straight. There we go. Let's see if that's too thick. No, it's actually okay. I don't mind it. I don't mind it right now. I think I want to make his eyes a little yellower. We'll just do hue saturation. We'll bring the saturation up, and let's maybe try to find. Maybe we want to really make them yellow. The alpha lock, fill. I feel like that's a little nicer. Sorry for my loud swallows. I actually despise my loud swallows. Alright, these can be completely black. So now I'm just going to do those lines over the eyes that I always do. Wait, do I need to do it that way? Let me think. It's important to think about where you put the sort of eyelash thingies on the eyes. So this one would be, I'm using Sketchmaster, which is pressure sensitive, which is a must. Make sure I have nice clean lines there. Okay, that's not looking bad. So now for this one, we'll do... Now this has to be sort of level 2 as well. I think I need to make it more weighted towards the back. This is kind of tricky. Let me rotate it so I can do this a little easier. It's really art. It's really an art getting the lines straight and nice and crisp. You just have to work at it. Like even for me, like it's difficult, but it's just very important. You know, even these little lines. Like the reason why I do what I just did is you really have to keep them straight. So for example, this doesn't look straight to me. So now that I have most of this, I'm just going to go over it, and then I'm going to hold, and then it snaps too, and I can sort of make it. I can make it straighter that way. I love that snap to tool. Or is it a tool? I guess it's considered a tool. Make this a little thicker here. I'll give him this little... We'll give him this little cute little eye thing. Make one over here as well. This one's a little... It should be fairly even in size. Okay, I like that so far. Okay, so what do we want to do next? Let's make some eyes on him just so he kind of looks alive. So actually first I'm going to shade in put a little bit of sauce on these eyes. So just a little bit of like 3D effects. So the eyes are alpha locked. So I'm using the airbrush and I can softly just go around the edges and just really give it some shape. I'm still going to do the shadow from the top eyelid that I always do. This is more for just like the roundness, the shape of the eye. I'll do the same thing over here. Just make sure I get those edges. All this stuff is really, really lightly touching, just using the repetition to really make the marks, not like just going over it, just really lightly over and over again on the outside, just to get that nice gradient. And if you run into problems, or if you kind of mess up, you can either go back to the color in your history, or you can just pick from directly in the middle, whatever the lightest part is, and then you can use the same brush, and you can just sort of fix any mistakes you need by using the airbrush with the original color again, and sort of tame the shading. Okay, that looks pretty good. So his eyes are this color, so I'm just going to grab that, and I'm just going to use solid circle. Ooh, that's big. Still too big. Okay, that's closer. Make it a little smaller. It's not bad. And then we can duplicate. I kind of want to do my like special epic eyes for him. So since the eye is on this side, I'm gonna I have to make this. I don't know why this eye looks weird. Okay. It looks alright. I wonder if they need to be a little bit smaller though. Oops, let me go to uniform. Let's see how that looks. It's a little bit better. I think that's a little more, it fits a little bit better. It's a little bit more what I'm looking for. So that's pretty good for now. Okay, so, alright, what do we have next? So I might erase this line. What I'm going to do, what am I going to do? I'm going to make a new layer above, and I'm going to set it to multiply. And I'm going to use the same color as his eyes. So multiply layer, I'm going to put it on about 50. Let's see what that looks like. That's a lot. 20. I'll just use a not as strong a color because I don't want to go down all the way to 20. So let me choose 50 again. Alright, because I'm going down to 35. 35 is good. Okay, so I'm just going to use this for now. So I'm going to select his head, and then I'm going to go to the layer that I just did. I'm going to name it Shadow. It's always good to name your layers. I only named one layer so far. Okay. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and erase that line because I don't need it anymore, because this line was just to show the line was just to show where this the shadow was. So now that I don't have it anymore, now that I have made the shadow there, I don't need the line. And I can sort of shape this to really work a little bit better. Okay, so I'm still in my shadow layer. I'm going to go back to Butterblade here. And now I'm just going to make this line cleaner. Okay. And one thing that I didn't do is he has lighter around his mouth, so maybe I should do that now. So I am going to select this. I'll make a new layer. Should I do it right on the layer? Maybe I should do it right on the layer. Yeah, I'm gonna do it right on the layer. We're gonna live dangerously. So I'm gonna choose the color of his skin, and then I'm gonna go lighter and a little bit more. Do I want to go a little bit more yellow? Let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so this coloring would be underneath his here, it would come up. So the whole under part of his like little snout, his little snouty. Come down here. And since I did it on the same layer, instead of erasing, I'm just going to use the color of his skin to sort of erase. Whoops, I don't know what that was. Okay. Now, do I want to go back to the previous color? Do I want to bring this all the way down? Let's see how that looks, because I would like to make it I want to make this go down and be like the underside of his little belly. So I'm just trying to figure out if I want to. That's actually not bad. So what I'm trying to do now is make it even. So it comes off of his, I guess that works. Maybe I'll just make this a little more rounder so it looks like it's coming off of his mouth, but not getting too much on his cheek. I think that works. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to the layer below, name that body, head. So I'll go to body, and I'm going to do the same. Let me go off selection. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the body. Actually this is actually a little bit, this comes out a little far, to be honest with you. But that's okay. He'll just have a really, actually, you know what? I can change this line here. That's what I can do. So I'm going to unalpha lock the lines so I can change this line. I could just do it the cheap way and freehand do it like this. It's the bootleg way. I mean, it's not really bootleg. Okay, there we go. I feel like we should put another one here. Disney Ink. Make sure we're on the... I'm going to rename this Lines for now. Lines. And I'll just do a little mark there for the other part of his little neck. Oh man, we're already at 38. Man, this was supposed to be quick. I don't know what's happening. Okay, so let's go back to this light color so I can do that for his body. So we'll go to body, we'll go to Butterblade. And we'll just color in the parts that should be light. Actually, maybe not the whole neck. Maybe like... Actually, that's not going to work. I don't think color drag doesn't work well when it's over a color already. It does not play nice. Let's see what it looks like with this colored in. That might be a little too much. Actually, it doesn't look bad. But the only problem is it's not right because it should be on the inner part of his neck. So if this is the back of his, oopsie daisies, what am I doing here? Color pick this. Should be something more like that. So sort of like it's coming down in the front part of his neck. This part is okay. That's actually not bad. Something about this line is sort of bugging me, so I'm going to erase a little bit of it. It might be just a little too prominent here. That's a little better. Okay, so let's see where he needs more of this color, this light color on his body. I'll go back to Butterblade because it's just a smaller brush. So his hands, like his palm area, oops, I don't know what that is. I don't know why it's doing that. His palm area also has it. So, which means that the bottoms of his fingers would have it. This actually can go up a little bit. Okay. And do the same thing here. Give his little palm some traction. And for his little tail, we'll do the same thing. Make the bottom part have it there. And we definitely want to still have it for his little underbody there. Maybe a little bit here too. No, maybe not there. Yeah, he doesn't need it there. Also, I'm going to make the inside of the ears, so I have to go back to the top part of his head. Or do I want to do those pink? For now, I'll make the inside of his ears this color as well. Just because it's nice to have some separation in the ears. Okay, that looks good. Just trying to see if it looks better if I add a little more to his little snouty. Okay. Something is sort of bugging me about this line. I think it needs to go up a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to erase it and redraw it. Or actually, I'm going to erase it and I'm going to erase the color. Just to sort of flatten it out some. I don't like how low that section is. And that's a little bit better. And I'm actually going to change the color of this line to only a little bit darker than what it was. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that here. So for this line, I'm going to go back to Disney Ink. Oops. Could probably make it a little darker, but that's okay. And then I'm going to use that color, and I'm going to go to, I'll use Butterblade. Oops. And I'm going to go back up to lines and then alpha lock, and then color these lines in. I might want to make that a little darker though. I think I like the dark lines there. That might be too dark. We'll go with the original dark color lines. We'll stick with the original color for now. Maybe erase a little bit of this one. It goes up a little too. It was up a little bit too high. Okay. I feel like this is a little long, so I'm going to do a third video, and we're going to finish it up more from here. Just because this is already 45 minutes, and but I'm going to finish it up tonight, so I'll make a new video. I'm going to send this to my computer because my cell phone only has so much space to record. So far it's looking, so far I like it. So far I like it better. It just has a different feel. I'm liking it. Hopefully you guys like it too, and hopefully you'll join me in the next video so we can finish up on this little Bogart.